search YouTube, you'll find the Bob Chapman channel. Clipser.com, you'll find the Bob Chapman channel and lots of information up there. One of the things that I wanted to ask you is you talk about a deliberate collapse of destroyed currencies, social chaos, and revolution. This revolution that you're talking about is a legitimate revolution, and it could mean a lot of death. The one in France, when they had the French Revolution, 300,000 dead. And this could be a major situation because we're down the gun barrel of something that we've never seen in America before. Hyperinflation next year, dollar collapse, and 2 years till the final impact. More residential foreclosures, 35% plus more commercial. All of this happening. Record third quarter foreclosures, 23% increase over last year. We're not coming out of anything, are we?
No, we're not coming out of anything. And it's just more smoke and mirrors, propaganda, disinformation. It's the same old story that the American people fall for, and other people as well in other countries fall for. And it's very, very sophisticated. It's very well done. The public doesn't know what's being done to them, and they think if they can get the public excited about the future of themselves and their family and their country, then we'll have a recovery. And, I was doing a piece this morning for the next issue, and, we had the same thing happen during the 1930s, and it didn't work. And it's not going to work this time either. And what we had in 1940 was unemployment at 16.4%. And that was down from 17.2 in 1939. The government increased spending by 45% during the years of 1930 through 1940. And they couldn't get out of depression. It was not really improving, not to a great extent. And that's why they had another war. And we're doing the same thing right now in the Middle East. First we had Iraq, and now we got Afghanistan, and next comes Pakistan, and maybe Iran after that, maybe India after that. I mean, who knows? The possibilities are endless. And these people are diabolical. They don't care. They want people to think, well, the war caused that. That being the collapse of the financial and economic system of the world, which was engineered deliberately by the power behind government. This just didn't happen. These people aren't dumb. They're very smart.
One of the things I've got to ask you about.
The problem that they've run into is that it's not working for them. The public's finding out what's going on via programs like this, talk radio, the Internet, publications like mine. All over the world, people are saying, oh, my goodness, is that who's doing it to us? So the people who have caused this, who supposedly are now fixing it, these people are on the hook, and everybody knows who they are. And
let's talk,
Mr.
Chapman, about a couple of the people who've caused it. And you've got it laid out in the International Observer, International Forecaster. There is no question about it. You say Wall Street's minting money and looking forward again to hefty bonuses. They're getting huge bonuses. You've got the CEO of Goldman Sachs stressing the social goods of his firm's business. You had the international advisor in London. I was watching Bloomberg yesterday, and the guy said, inequality is good. Inequality in wages helps everyone, and we need to give more to charity. I mean, these people are so out of touch. You have Vulcan, who's the CEO. It's actually a breakfast conversation hosted by Fortune, and you quote him as saying, an important social purpose by channeling pools of money held by pension funds and others to companies and governments around the world. Trades the firm makes on its own account make up a small fraction of Goldman's profits, and you're saying small fraction, $10 billion of their $12.4 billion in revenue. They borrow from the Federal Reserve at zero, lend to the Treasury for a profit. These people are crooks, pure and simple, and They have no conscience. They're saying social good of the firm's business. They're talking about inequality in pay is good. What's wrong with these people? Are they just that far out of touch?
Well, they want world government. They don't believe in the same God that we do. And they do anything they want to do. And they believe also that anything that we have is because we allowed it for them to be had. And with that said, I think probably the most insulting of all is that they seem to think that we don't know what they're doing. And through the media, our media, we're reaching the people and telling them, and they're off balance now because of that. And I get news for them. They recently threatened us, the American people, several times, telling us that what's going to happen is that if you don't do what we want you to do, if you don't leave the Federal Reserve alone, if you don't leave Wall Street and banking alone, then we're going to crash the system on you. Well, this is my answer to that. I think that's terrific because the system's going to crash anyway. So it's really an idle threat that's going to happen anyway. And they know there's no way to get around this. And so who's going to lose the most? Well, they own the most. They have the most money, the most wealth. And so they're going to lose the most. And you know what? When all is said and done and everything has collapsed, the American people are going to say, who did this to us? And that's where we're going to have the trials. And that's where we're going to bring out the guillotine again. And it won't be 300,000 this time. It'll be 3 or 30 million. Whatever the figure is, it's going to be large. And they're going to pay. And all their wealth is going to go to the treasuries of the countries in which they live. Because it just isn't Americans that are involved in this. And that's where this thing is headed. And they know it, and they are terrified.
You're one of their last throws that they're going to try, and you're the only person who says this. When people say, how do you know these things? And I have to look at them and say, well, I learned it from Bob Chapman, and hopefully you're going to learn it from Mr. Chapman by subscribing to the International Forecaster and listening to programs like this and many of the other programs that he's on. The new reserve currency is the SDR. Forget the Amero and all that. It's the SDR, special drawing right, another fiat currency issued by the IMF. When they do that, they're hoping to replace gold and silver as money. When they come in with this SDR, then our sovereignty's gone, isn't it?
It is, but I don't think that's going to be the temporary answer for them because of the pressure that they've been under just in the last 2 months. I believe the new international trading unit, as we'll call it, which will be made up of the currencies of the G20 countries, the thing that they are going to have to do is have 10 to 15% gold backing, and otherwise it's not going to be acceptable.
More when we get back with Robert Chapman, the International Forecaster.